Like Silent Hill 2 is like baby's first Silent Hill. You said, well, everyone says it's fun with a friend, and that's literally it.
Who talking about they like Resident Evil 5? You're wrong. That game is terrible. It's ass. It's garbage. It's doo-doo. It's that stuff that comes out of your butthole. It's shit. Number 2, it is a garbage game. Stop buying video games on day one. Stop buying them on day one launch, because these games are most likely buggy as all hell.
Rockstar does the same thing where you can, like, Steam, you purchase something on Steam, and then you try to open it, and it's like, oh no, you need this other third-party launcher. And it's like, what? And earlier, in Resident Evil 1, where Chris laughs at Wesker, and Wesker's like, Chris, stop it!
Joined by the illustrious, smart, and laid-back Kelsey Fearless.
What is up, party people?
How are y'all doing today?
We're on episode 6.
Yes.
Jeez.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody around the world. I am your favorite neighborhood beard bro, Mr. Kennedy. And I am joined once again by the birthday girl, the lovely, laid-back, smart Kelsey Fearless. How are you today?
Oh, Ken, I am excellent. How are you today, Ken? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm still waking up. You know, getting old is not fun.
No, you and your 20 minutes of sleep per day.
Yeah. It'll all be worth it when I get done with these coding classes. I tell you, JavaScript is giving me a headache.
It's getting to you, is it?
Yeah, it's starting to get to me, but it's good when you can actually get stuff to work, you know?
Yeah.
But yes.
Exactly. That's all of programming. It either works or you don't know why it's working, or it's not working and you don't know why.
Definitely. Well, welcome everybody to episode 6 of the Hot Takes podcast. We're getting into it. It's going to be very PlayStation heavy because we're going to be talking about the State of Play showcase and some of the games that came out back on May 29th. So y'all know how that is. And we got a loaded show for you guys. But first, I want Kelsey to check out the birthday overlays.
I'm looking at it right now. I am literally looking at it right now. I love it. I love that, Ken.
And I'm glad you love it. I am glad that you love it. Yesterday was yesterday was Kelsey's birthday, and I saw that a lot of you guys came out for a birthday stream, and that was cool that you guys did that. I'm pretty sure y'all made her day great, and we will still celebrate her birthday today because this is a special birthday stream for her. And you see that
you guys are great.
You see the birthday hat on her.
I got my hat on.
Yeah,
yes, I do.
I'm about to find a blue version of that for when I turn 39 next year.
Oh, yes. Yours will say birthday boy. We'll find you one. We will absolutely find you one.
Birthday beard bro.
Yes. Yes.
That would be great. But yes, I hope everybody is doing well. If you're not doing well, you can always come by here and take your mind off of your problems and have some fun, because that's what we do here. Anyways, no announcements this week. We're just going to jump right into it because I'm still fighting with Apple.
Still.
Long after I'm gone from now, people will be talking about this legendary battle that I've had with Apple Podcasts.
It's your legacy.
Yeah, they're going to be talking about this stuff. I was like, yes. But yeah, long from now, they're going to be talking about this long drawn out battle that I've had with Apple Podcasts. It's just, I don't know why they're so difficult. Every other platform was easy for me. Every other one. And shout out to Spades, I'm going to shout her out. She'll be the only person I shout out in chat because she's working on a logo for us.
Ooh,
like she's
that's funny. I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah, and she got she got some really cool designs, and I appreciate her everything that she does. So she's putting
appreciate you, Spades.
Yeah, she's great. But let's get on with this. We're gonna be talking about. Well, first off, I want to talk about Telltale's Wolf Among Us 2 is finally coming out. For those of y'all
Really?
who don't know what that game is even about, it's like a fairy tale world where you're playing as different versions of like the big bad wolf, and then you're interacting with Snow White. Like it's like it's like the fairy tale characters in a modern setting. So
Oh, that's cool.
the main character that you play as Bigsby Wolf. He's formerly the big bad wolf, and he's the sheriff of Fabletown, and he interacts with Snow White and the Magic Mirror and the Three Little Pigs and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I
That's
might pick that
charming.
up because that sounds cool.
It does. It does. That
Y-
sounds charming.
they're all in human form, like humanoid form. And I'm like, they need to do more of this stuff, man. Yes, I want to move on here because I want to talk about something. Video game movies and why they
Oh
suck.
man.
I don't think I've seen a single video game movie I mean, other than Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat from 1995, that movie was passable. Other
I've
than
seen
that,
that.
huh?
No. I said I've seen that, but like the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s were disgusting for video game movies.
Yeah, and it's still pretty bad now. You people have no idea the pain that my brother and I had to sit through watching some of these movies in the 90s, man. Y'all have never seen Double Dragon in 94. That movie was absolute trash. It had nothing to do with Double Dragon. Only the fact that you had Billy and Jimmy Lee, who are supposed to be twins, but if you watch the movie, you have two brothers who look. I mean, one is I think Hawaiian. I think he is, and the other guy's white. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how that works for twins. And
Who are these people?
yeah, I'm
Right? Like who
like,
are these people?
it didn't follow the story plot at all of Jimmy Lee. Like Jimmy Lee was taken away as a baby and he was raised to be evil. And you had Billy who was raised to be a good guy. They didn't have none of those elements in there. And I'm like, this movie sucks. Even Robert Patrick couldn't carry it.
No,
But,
no. Actually, Nostalgia brought it up, and I was gonna say it too. The 90s Mario Brothers movie.
oh, I'm getting to
Do you
that.
remember that one?
I'm getting
Oh,
to it
you are perfect.
because
Classic example.
I have a list of that stuff. Today's going to be very list heavy. Then we'll talk about that. The Super Mario Brothers movie. I remember my father renting that because this was back in the VHS days where you had videotapes, and he rented that movie for my brother and I. We took 5 minutes to look at that movie, and then we didn't pay no attention to it at all after that. That movie is horrible. I mean,
Oh man.
they
Yeah.
tried for what they had, but Super Mario Brothers is not the type of movie that should be like a live action. It's just it's an acid trip, folks.
It is.
Super Mario
I remember
Brothers.
the Koopas.
Yeah, it's
The
crazy though. Look,
Koopas.
it was so bad that Bob Haskins, the guy that plays Mario, he said that him and John Leguizamo, the guy that played Luigi, had to be drunk through most of the movie just to film it.
Oh, I'm rewatching that movie with that in mind now.
Yeah,
Okay, I
they
need to rewatch it with that.
they both said that they were shit faced through most of the through most of the filming. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
how bad does something have to be? And it's like, God rest his soul, Bob Hoskins, he was great in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was a great movie,
Yes.
but I mean, everything like not everything could be a Ninja Turtle. See, they hit that out of the park when they came out with the first Ninja Turtles movie. I mean, they tore it up, man.
That was good.
And I was like, yeah, I'm like, we need more like that. But then you didn't really have technology like that. to hold I mean, I heard that the cartoon Super Mario Brothers is pretty good. The one that they came out with, I think a few years ago. I forget this one that came out. That's the
The movie?
Yeah, it's like a cartoon Super Mario Brothers movie,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's better for the settings.
I
And this,
remember there being a series of Mario like TV show, wasn't there?
oh
Like a cartoon version like the 90s?
yeah, with Captain Lou Albano when he was playing Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers. Come on,
Yeah.
everybody, let's
Yeah.
do the Mario. Yeah, I remember that. They used to come
Yes.
on, and then they had the Zelda cartoon come on after that. Well, excuse me.
It's me. Oh my god, yes. Yes. Oh man, that one was so funny.
Yeah,
Oh
our
man.
cartoons were cheesy, but they had a charm to it. And
Yeah.
here's a video game movie that you probably know more about, Silent Hill.
Oh man. The first one is all right. The first one is all right. They kind of like smushed like it was all right. Like they took a lot of liberties, but I think the the one based after Silent Hill 3, I own it and I never watched it because I watched it, so I own it. I got it out of a bargain bin for like $2 and I want to watch it, but but I remember seeing it and I was like, what is this? Like it's so far and away from actual Silent Hill. And the first one was fine. The first one was fine actually, except for some reason they decided to change everyone to like change the protagonist to a woman because what did the director say? He didn't understand why a father would be so concerned about his daughter. I think was the reason, something like that. But oh man, the third one was awful. Like if you respect yourself and your time, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
It sounds like crap. The fact that it was in a bargain bin, like, come on, man.
Mhm. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
usually
Yeah.
when you go into the dollar store, when you go in the Dollar Tree and you see those DVD movies, nobody wants them things, man. Don't buy them, even
Nope.
for $1.
Nope. Nope. Exactly.
Moving on to the next one, Blood Rain. Now, I will admit the first one was okay. Like it was like it was just good enough just to pass as a decent video game movie. But the second one and the third one were absolute dog trash. Like dog shit, grade A dog shit. I don't know. Sometimes they gotta quit while they're ahead. Not every movie needs a sequel and a sequel after that. It was awful, man. I'm like, they had something there. They should have took what they had. I mean, it had Michelle Rodriguez in the movie. Of course, she was the girl that always turns on you, and then she gets killed by Rain. And they had a good story there. Rain, being like in this like clown show type thing because she's half vampire, half human. So they had something there, but they just by the time the second one came around, it's like the events of the first movie didn't happen, and the third one, I don't know what the hell. It's just like Blade 3. I don't know what they were doing there. Like it looked like they were just throwing shit at the wall, and I'm like, yeah,
Never seen them.
yeah. Well, you're not missing nothing.
I don't think so.
If you got like if you're like in between like delivering a newspaper or something, then that's your time to watch it.
Yeah.
But
not looking,
I wouldn't
not seeking it out.
I wouldn't subject anybody to watch those movies. Street Fighter. That's another movie. The Street Fighter movies, the live action movies are just, even though it had Jean-Claude Van Damme, in it, and it was okay. Like the one saving grace of that movie was Raul Julia, who played M. Bison. That was his last performance before he passed away from cancer. But
Really?
and he was filming that movie while being sick. So I mean, the fact that he was able to put out that performance before he passed on, That's why I can't say that it's a, absolute terrible movie. Him in there, he actually carried that movie. But, with that said, the other ones after that, like the Chung Lee movie, terrible. Terrible
Terrible,
movie.
eh?
And I'm like, they didn't even try. The story didn't make any sense. They didn't follow anything. The only thing that was even remotely Street Fighter related was it was Chung Li, and she was trying to get revenge on M Bison. But it was like someone on YouTube. I mean, actually, I'm not even gonna insult anybody because you got people on YouTube who make better movies. It was like someone just it was like someone who had a movie who didn't have the rights to all the footage and stuff, and they just came up with their own thing basically. And
like a fan version.
yeah, that's what a lot of these video game movies are. It's like they take liberties with everything. They don't follow the continuity. And then they wonder why fans are standing outside their studios with pitchforks. It's like, what is wrong with y'all, man? Monster Hunter. And you could already tell why I don't like it. What's this girl's name?
There's a Monster Hunter movie?
Yeah. And
Really?
who's the main character in it?
Who?
What's her name? That was Alice in the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, frig.
What's up, Mila Jovovich, something like that?
Yeah, Mila. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the main character in it, and it sucks. Look, I'm not bagging on her, but it's like, man, I don't know how she keeps getting these roles, in these movies, man. Did anybody ask for a Monster Hunter movie? It's a game where you get equipment, you build yourself up by getting the best equipment and weapons, and you hunt animals, you hunt monsters. That's literally what the game is. And I'm surprised I can't get into that game. I've tried. Lord knows I've tried. You would think being able to create your own character and have your own weapons and stuff that I would have.
Yeah, I didn't do it that much either. I didn't either.
Yeah, I tried, but I tried it back in the 3DS, and I'm like, I don't know. It's not bad. It's not a bad game, but it just didn't grab me. You know what I mean?
It gets repetitive.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think it gets repetitive.
Well, I mean, repetition can be good. I mean, if you like to play the Dynasty Warriors, games and stuff like that, I enjoy just being like a mythical figure from like the Edo period or I don't know what I'm thinking about, the samurai era in Japan, just going around just slicing your way through hundreds and hundreds of enemies. I don't have no problem with that. But yeah, that was a movie that really didn't need to be made. Nobody asked for that. No, they just said, hey, we need something for Mila to do. Let's do Monster Hunter.
Right? It's like they pulled it out of a hat of video game names, like just pulled it out. All right, we'll do Monster Hunter.
Yeah. And that's bad when people don't even know about it.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
That goes to tell you how good it did.
Right?
Final Fantasy.
I remember that movie. I remember that everyone freaking out at how good that movie looked. If we're thinking about the same one.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. Like I watched it a couple of times. It's not that bad. It's just passable. That's the highest grade I could give for some of these movies is that it's just passable enough to make it. You're never gonna hear me say that a lot of these video games, oh, this movie is great, unless you do the Japan stuff. You go to Japan and you got the Samurai X, the Rurouni Kenshin movies. Now that's how you do an anime movie. That's how you do video game movies, man. They followed it right down to a T. But for some reason over here in the US, man, I don't know what they're doing. Making up characters that don't exist in the main continuity. They change certain aspects about characters that nobody asked them to change. It's a pain. But yeah, the Final Fantasy movie was decent. The Doom movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson bombed. I watched that movie. It sucked.
Yep.
It sucked.
I remember that movie. Yeah, I remember that movie. Yep.
I'm sorry, Rock, but you probably should have set that one out, brother.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, because that movie tanked. And I'm glad they never made another one. If they're gonna make a Doom movie, they need to just do like a CGI movie.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of which, since we're on that thing, did you see the new trailer for the new Aliens movie?
Yeah, I did. I did see that. And they're actually using practical effects for that too. I'm in love with the video of they have like a remote control face hugger. And I'm like, man, I would love that. Like, I would love terrorizing people, you know, just down the street at night, like an old lady's walking and I have the RC face hugger. No, okay, that I might give an old lady a heart attack, actually. Never mind.
If I ever hear about you getting arrested, I know why. You terrorizing people. Yeah. You know, that would be some funny stuff. But yeah, you know, I got one more, and you guys probably already know what it is. The Resident Evil live action movies.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this one more time, and you probably won't hear me say it again. For those of you who are true Resident Evil fans and you like these movies, you have brain damage. These movies are not good. These movies are absolute trash. I don't know why people like this stuff. It does not follow the story. You got Alice, who's not even a character in no Resident Evil games. Trust me, I played every single one of them.
Yeah.
Since 1996, there is nobody in the game named Alice. They literally, and again, we go back to Mila. Why was she in these movies? Because her husband was the director.
Yep.
That's the only reason why these movies were trash, man. Like, I don't know why. Oh, I like the Resident Evil movies. I like the Resident Evil movies. When you dropped on your head as a kid, if you honestly think, no, I'm serious, man. Like, these, come on, man. Come on. Watch the CGI movies. Watch the CGI movies.
Are they good?
Yes.
I haven't seen them. They are okay.
I showed you did you watch my Ada video, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the part where she was fighting the Russian president?
Yeah.
That's
and I've also seen a part, or maybe that's live action, the one I've seen. A different one. I think I've also seen scenes. Yeah, like I've seen scenes from it, I think. But I didn't know if it was good.
You gotta watch it. Like these here's the thing that gets me. Those movies are straight to DVD movies, Netflix. But they put that bullshit out.
Really?
And it's like, how are you gonna have the main protagonist from the actual Resident Evil movies? You got Jillicious, you got the Giga Chad Chris, you got Leon. I don't even know if Leon is in any of those. But anyways, you got Wesker, you got all these people that are from the Resident Evil series playing background fiddle to Alice. Again, someone who does not exist. I'm like, oh my.
And like, how does she even fit in the scheme of things? Like, who is she? Because
she doesn't. Like, they literally they made her up out of thin air.
Yeah.
They literally that would be like, can you imagine if they did like a Mortal Kombat movie, right? And they don't have any other main players. They don't have Sub-Zero. They don't have Scorpion. They don't have Johnny Cage, Sonya. They just got some dude or some girl they literally just made up. My name is Jane Doe. And you plopped them in the middle of the Mortal Kombat universe. You expect people to like that crap. Come on, man. Watch the CGI movies, folks. I'm going to indoctrinate you. You are going to watch the CGI movies and you're going to leave the live action stuff behind. And every time you
All right, I'll watch them.
Yeah, watch it. Because thing is, like, I'm gonna create something that every time somebody goes to watch that movie, my face will pop up on the screen with a giant X.
Please.
I'd be
That's
like,
so funny.
don't
Please.
watch these movies. It will rot your brain in a
Rot
robotic
your
voice.
brain.
It will, like, I'll pop up, you know. But yes, video game movies, like, it's always been very hit or miss. Very rarely are you gonna find anyone that's like really great. I mean, and same thing with anime movies as well too, because Dragon Ball Evolution was absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad that the director had to come out and apologize for making the movie.
Oh man.
And
You know it's bad when.
he admitted that he never saw Dragon Ball. I said, geez, I'm like, I can't imagine that. He never seen Dragon Ball.
Really?
I'm like, you can tell by watching that garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so funny.
but
Never even seen it.
but I do have to thank him though, because it was because of that steaming pile of dog shit that Akira Toriyama, God rest his soul, the creator of Dragon Ball, he came out of retirement to make sure that the next Dragon Ball movies that came out were good. So when Battle of Gods came out, which is a damn good movie, Battle of Gods and Fukashi no F, Revival of Frieza, and then you got Dragon Ball Broly, Super Broly, then you got Superhero. Toriyama came back and he was like, nah, he's like, I'm gonna make sure that they don't screw up my legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would. Could you imagine? But like they didn't even know what it was. Like that's crazy.
well, I mean, there was probably a lot of drugs going on in that room when they were talking about this stuff.
Everyone was probably drunk too here. Everyone was probably drunk here too.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell, like seriously, how the hell are you gonna agree to make a movie about something and not go back and find out what it's about?
Right? Like, did he just see like a lineup of the characters and was just like, all right, I think I know what's going on here?
Yeah. Anybody who's a Dragon Ball fan, because I've watched Dragon Ball from start to finish in English and in Japanese. I have the manga back there. I know damn near everything that happens in that series, and everything in that movie has nothing to do with the series. Son Goku did not go to school. While Muten Roshi did teach him and Krillin, he taught them basic math and he did school them. Goku never went to school. And I'm like, okay, so that's strike one. Strike two, how he becomes the great ape, the great Uzaru. Everybody knows in Dragon Ball you need the full moon. He looks at the full moon, he transforms into a giant ape. They screwed that up in the movie. That's strike two. Strike three, how he met his wife, Chi-Chi. I mean, they made it so Goku got his powers because Chi-Chi touched him. And I said, yeah, that's strike three. That's it. It's over.
What?
Yeah. Chi-Chi touched him, and then he got his powers, even though Goku knew how to use ki from his adopted grandfather, Son Gohan. So where did he get that from? Like, I don't want to talk about that movie no more.
No.
Holy crap. Yeah, let's move on here.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on here. Now, I want to ask you a question, Kelsey.
Yes.
What is your favorite video game controller?
Favorite video game controller? Oh man. Xbox, but then Super Nintendo. Actually, I even have a USB one.
Super NES controller? That's my favorite controller though. Still to this day, that's my favorite controller.
Yeah, it's so convenient. Yeah, I have a USB one. It's so convenient.
Is it the 8-bit do Super Nintendo controller?
I think so. I can grab it later and see which one it is.
Yeah, that controller was just perfectly crafted and is comfortable in the hands even to this day, even though I had smaller hands back then. It was a great controller.
Yeah.
The PlayStation ones, I enjoy those too. Like the first PlayStation, the PS2, the PS3,
PS2 was nice.
the PS4. I mean, they're basically all the same controller. Like this, the only
Yeah.
difference was, when the PlayStation first came out, it didn't have the analog sticks yet, and then they updated
Yeah.
it. The PS5 controller, I'm digging the look of that.
It's sleek.
Yeah, it looked like something Batman would carry with him, like a boomerang, a batmarang. That's what it looks like
That's
to
so
me.
funny. It does. It does, actually. That's funny.
I like, the Xbox controllers. I like the controllers to a certain point, but the D-pad, I hope that they fix this in the newer ones because I just never liked this D-pad, man. It's terrible. Like
Yeah.
for fighting games, I don't like the D-pad on these things.
Yeah. Why didn't you like about them?
Well, I mean, if you're playing fighting games, I could barely pull off anything. Like if you're playing
Oh, really?
yeah, if you're playing Street Fighter, like I had a hell of a time pulling off just a basic Hadouken. With Ryu.
Does it not read? Does it not read like the up and down? Like, does it not read the inputs well?
This D-pad, it doesn't have like the individual like arrows. Like it's like one big circular pad with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I'm playing fighting games, like when I'm playing Mortal Kombat, moves that are very simple to me on a PlayStation controller, it's like I'm just first picking up the game and playing it on an Xbox controller. I can't do it.
No.
I just can't.
No.
But it's
yeah, I can see that.
It's still a decent controller though. But yeah, Super Nintendo is king. Super Nintendo has the best controller, period. You know, and I just wish that they would continue. I know that the Switch has their own version than the original Nintendo. The original Nintendo, the problem that I have with that controller is that the corners dig into my hand, and it gets kind of uncomfortable holding that controller for a long period of time.
Yeah, it was. You get the edges. Yeah, I remember that.
And like when you got sweaty hands, you playing through Double Dragon, man, and it's like, yep, your hands start to hurt, and you start to get like callous hands and stuff. You don't want that.
Yep. I remember that.
Least favorite controller.
Oh man, you'll probably agree. N64.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hate it.
Absolutely.
Hate that design.
The Nintendo 64 controller, I hated it ever since they came out with that. I don't like it. I don't like playing games on it. I don't like, it's just weird to me. Like, why would they design a controller like that? Like, you got
exactly.
It's like they have the D-pad up here and everything, and you have the 6 buttons, the 6 face buttons, then you got the shoulder buttons, and then you got the analog stick. And I'm like, I never like holding a controller like that.
No, and people would be breaking their hands, I can remember, because you'd have like the 2, but like to get to the 3rd one, people would be doing this. Like, does anyone remember that? Where people would have, like but then they'd be like why? Everyone was breaking their hands trying to get to the analog.
And
you remember that.
Talking about cramped hands and stuff, and they were slick with that stuff. Like they started to make it so, the games that were coming out, you had to play with the thumbstick. And I'm like, I don't like the feel of that. I'm like, I can't play no fighting game like this.
No.
So definitely that's the worst. And I will put the GameCube in second place of that. Because I never liked the design of the GameCube controller either. You know what the GameCube... It
was all right.
You know what the GameCube controller looks like? You ever try to put a costume mod in a video game? And then it comes up all discombobulated and stuff?
Yeah. It doesn't match, Yeah,
like I'll be putting mods on Resident Evil 3, the remake, and then parts of the costume is like way up here on the shoulder and junk. And it just looks looks weird. That's the
Yeah, I've never really liked modern Nintendo controllers. God, that's not even modern. I'm referring to the N64, not Kelsey, that's not modern. But I didn't like, they were so experimental for so long. I don't even like the Switch controllers. They're just weird.
I mean, they're not bad. They sure as hell better than the Wii joysticks, the Nintendo Wii. I did not like them things, man. It looked like I was holding
No.
TV remotes. I didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you didn't have the wrist strap, you just like go right like people busted their TVs and stuff by not having a wrist strap and it just launched.
Yeah, how messed up would your day be? You got a nice big screen TV and you're playing Just Dance and then you throw your remote through it like a dart.
Oh yeah. No thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty pissed at that. Yeah, I never liked that.
Oh yeah, me too.
I like the old school traditional controller. Now, with the Joy-Cons for the Switch, I do kind of like the feel of it. Like you got the strap, so it straps to your wrist and stuff. I do kind of like that. It's kind of fun. But, I just like the old traditional. I mean, I don't play controller anymore anyway. I got keyboard and mouse. But I like the traditional control where you just sit there and you just, play like we used to.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but Nintendo, they do have a joystick like that. It just sucks. Like it's just not very
Yeah,
good.
I know.
The connection,
No, it doesn't flow.
well, and then that and the connection issues that goes with it is just as bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, speaking of all of these consoles, I would like to speak about something else here. I think maybe it's time since you showed me the article about that and we were talking about that. I think that maybe it's the time now for Xbox to finally come out with a handheld console. And I also think that Sony should give it another try as well too. I think that a Xbox handheld with like the specs of an Xbox One, I think that would be pretty cool and intriguing if they can pull it off. But this is Xbox we're talking about.
Microsoft. They'll try.
This is Microsoft we're talking about. Like if I gave them bread and lunch meat, they couldn't even make a sandwich. They'd be sitting there like a bunch of damn idiots. I don't know. But watching that article, I was like, you know what? Why not? I mean, in an era where you have all of these handheld PCs, like you got the Asus one that's out, you got the I think it's the Google G Cloud, you got the Steam Deck, which is a terrible name. But
I remember you saying that,
yeah, we got the Steam Deck. So you have like all of these handhelds that are out. Why not? I mean, Xbox, I think that I would give them a chance if they did that. And I think that Sony, even more so, because the PS Vita never got the support that they deserve. That was a damn good handheld. And Sony over here, they gave up too easily. They gave up way too quick on that system. The only reason why it lasted as long as it did because Japan kept it alive. Like they were still coming out with games and imports and stuff that kept the system going longer than it needed to. But over here, America, they gave up on it way too quickly. And I'm like, that was a crime because they had something.
I feel like handhelds are like more of a niche over here.
That is true. I mean, but the thing is, now that handhelds are far more powerful, they're as powerful as PCs, low-end PCs, mid-range PCs. They got more technology. Why can't they come out with something that's, something that's great? I think that if anybody could do that, Sony could do it. And even though
Sony could.
Microsoft, even though I crap on them, I think, if they really went into this with a serious mind and they're like, okay, we're going to build something, like I said, with the specs of an Xbox One. It doesn't even have to be like the newest specs and the newest, GPUs and stuff. just something that you can play these games here on the go.
Yeah.
I would really like that. Nintendo, I'm not even gonna go there.
Nope.
No, so I'm not even gonna mention them. But I think that now is the time, because now people are getting these handhelds and they're on the go, and these things are absolutely destroying. I'm talking about specs wise, and in terms of what they can do, they're destroying Nintendo in every way possible.
Yep.
The Switch can't touch none of these handhelds.
No.
I'm like,
Switch is old.
The fact that the Steam Deck can play PC games, I mean, it does have a few problems with the more graphically powerful games, but for the most part, you can play a lot of these games that I have here on the screen with no problem. The Switch can't even play the cloud version of this stuff. So I really hope that, that the statements is true, that when he said that the Switch successor would be announced in March of next year or April of next year.
Yeah. But what are they going to improve on?
I mean, there's a lot of things that they can improve on that thing. Give us some
but
more.
What will they improve on? It's Nintendo. Let's be real here.
I just hope it's not like a Nintendo Switch Mini or something like that. And I'm like, I don't want that crap.
Oh, it will be. They'll bring you they'll bring out a new Switch, and then they'll bring out the 50 different chopped down versions of it. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, they'll be like, here's the 3D version of the Nintendo Switch. I'm like I really need that. Give me a more powerful console, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know why, man. Yes. Now let's crap on Sony for a little bit.
All right, let's move.
Because I crap on every company that does a lot of crap that cheats us. The PS5 Pro is on the way, which you just know that when it comes to Sony, they have to have a regular console, then they have to have a slim console, and then they have to have a Pro console. The rumor specs for this system is supposed to be 10% more CPU improvement, 45% more GPU improvement. It frees up 1.2 gigabytes of more system memory for developers. So that's a total of 13.7 gigabytes compared to the original PS5. Hooray! 1.2 gigabytes. Wow.
Yay. We're going to shove all those 400 gigabyte download games on there.
It's funny to me, and you just know that they're going to charge up the ass for this console. Just for those little bit of stuff. Come on, Sony, what's pro about this console?
Still chug at 1080p 60.
Oh my God, these guys, they think people are stupid, dude. They really think people are stupid. This is the PlayStation, the PS5 Pro. What's pro about it, man? 10% more CPU improvement. Come on now. I can run disk cleanup here, and that would make my system run 10% better.
Exactly. And defragment your drives while you're at it, done.
And there's no price on this, but you just know that they probably gonna charge like $150, $200 more than the other consoles. You just know that. Than the PS5 Slim and the original. And since we're on that subject of Sony cheating us, now I have to ask, why does the PS5 Slim cost more than the original PS5?
Does it really? Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Nobody wants to answer that question for me. The fact that I have the prices right here. You have the PS5 Slim.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
The PS5 Slim that has no disc drive is $449. The PS5
compared to the disc version.
Yeah, the disc version is $500, $499. Now, that right there is a problem, because you would think that you taking the disc tray out, that's less components for the system, so it would be much cheaper. than everything else. I'm like, I think that anything that's digital only should be cheaper than physical consoles, like where you have to have this and all that.
Yeah. Like, what are you paying for? You're getting less.
You're paying for a new console. This is basically what it is.
Yeah.
You're paying for a brand new console.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now,
That's fair.
compared to the OG PS5, the OG PS5 with no disc is $399. And the one with the disc is $499. Why is the PS5 Slim? Why does it cost the same amount as the original PS5?
That's an expensive disc drive. Wow.
And the thing is, they all have the exact same specs. It's the same specs. It's not like the Slim has anything other than the fact that it's a smaller console. Why does it cost that much? Why is the one with the disc $500? Why is Slim $450? You would think a smaller console would be cheaper. You know,
Someone's gonna buy it though.
I've never gone anywhere where you see something that's a smaller quantity. I mean, besides the food these days, smaller smaller and costing more than something that's bigger than it. That never made no sense to me. Like, can you imagine buying like a 24-inch television that's like $200 more than a freaking 35-inch TV? You would look at that and be like, yo, like what kind of stuff y'all smoking, man?
Right?
Like, but
Someone's
yeah,
gonna
like
buy it.
I'm sick of these video game companies cheating us, man. Like, they think people are stupid out here. You selling people the exact same console with the exact same specs, and we're just gonna tack on $100 more, $50 more for what? What are they getting? A smaller console, big deal. What they freaking do? I'm like, if
Bragging rights, maybe?
yeah,
I have no idea.
it's just like the iPhones, man. People are buying the same phone over and over again.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you have the original PlayStation 5, just stick with that, because you're not getting any upgrades by going out and spending another $500 for a PS5 Slim. Come on, man. They need to cut it out with that stuff. Sony, from now on, this is what they need to do. Have one original one and then have a pro version. I think that the discless one, the discless PS6, I think you'll call it the PS6, that should be considered like the original version. And then you have the one with the disc, if they still have that. That should be the pro version. Just do that.
Yep.
Stop cheating people. Just like Nintendo with their bullshit. How many versions of systems have they come out with the same specs? You had the original Switch, and then they had the Switch V2 version. Looked exactly the same as the first Switch. They just put a little bit more memory on it. Then they had the Switch Slim, or whatever you call it, the Switch Lite. That's what it's called.
Lite? Yeah.
Same specs, uglier looking console. It's a little smaller. Now they got this one, the OLED, which just has a better screen.
They did that with the DS too. How many DSs did we get?
I think we had the Nintendo DS. I forget because I completely skipped over that. But I know about
DS,
the 3DS.
And then they did 2DS.
Yeah, I mentioned the 3DS line before. We had the original 3DS.
Yeah.
Then we had the 3DS XL. Then we had the new 3DS XL. Then we had the 2DS. And then we had the other 2DS, which was like the bigger handheld.
Yeah.
And it was all the same specs.
I love how Nintendo loves doing that, slapping the title, the new one. Same with the Switch, the new Switch. And it's like you are just you're just scamming people. Oh, it's new. It's not really new at all.
No, it's not. They're straight out of the Apple playbook there with that stuff.
Yeah.
But people are gonna buy it because it's Nintendo, it's Sony, it's Microsoft. But at what point are people going to stand up and say, yo, stop cheating us, man? I've mentioned this before, but in all seriousness, I know I joke around a lot, but come on, Sony with this bullshit, man. Yo, these consoles are already expensive enough, and you're going to come out with one that has the exact same specs, just smaller. Come on. Y'all gotta cut that shit out, man. Seriously.
Right?
It's ridiculous. Anyways, though, rant over. Because I just don't think that an increase of internal memory to 1 terabyte is worth the price increase.
It's not.
Especially when you could just swap out hard drives anyways.
Yeah, exactly. You totally can, right? They are. I remember my buddy doing that with his PS4, actually.
Yeah, they have the external hard drives that you can, you pop it out and then you pop another one in. Like I said, people need to cut that out, man. Now let's talk about the PlayStation State of Play that started back on May 29th. They actually came out with a couple of surprising games that they're putting out here. I mean, some games are already out, but they're bringing them into the PS5 era and stuff. So we have a list here. On June 4th, they came out with SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake.
Really?
I mean, whatever. I mean, it's there, but if you're a SpongeBob fan, that ought to tickle your fancy. AEW Fight Forever, which is a wrestling game. I know all about that. If you're an All Elite wrestling fan, then you would love that. That's coming to the to the PS5 and to the State of Play and to the. If it's not already on there, I don't see what the point of that is. Streets of Rage 4, great game. Great game if you like the old school beat 'em up style games. Streets of Rage 4 is pretty much on everything, no? I mean, I played through it. I got my ass whooped. It was a great game, great graphics.
Wait, you played 4?
Yeah, I played all 3 of them.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I mean, I played
okay.
the 3 for Genesis, and then I played the 4th one because it's been out. They're just bringing it over, to like the PS5 library.
Oh, game port. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you have the PS VR 2, there are some interesting games that you guys might want to check out. Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lords. That sounds fun.
Yeah, in VR.
Yeah, even though I'm not a first-person style guy, I think I would like to play that.
Yeah.
Would you play something like that?
Like VR. Yeah, I've always wanted to try VR. I really did, because I'm kind of the same thing. I don't want to watch someone else's first person, but if it's my own first person, I see why, it's different. But that'd be fun. First person Ghostbusters? That'd be crazy.
I think I'm still scarred from the Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Oh my god. Yes. Oh man, you'd get migraines and dizziness and from looking through that. I remember that. I remember the Virtual Boy.
Everything was in red. And you couldn't even tell if the game was finished or not. Like you're butting into walls and stuff.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, I can remember that. You could barely even see.
It's like, yeah, I gotta mention that one. For those of y'all who don't know, the Nintendo Virtual Boy was like Nintendo's entry into virtual reality, which it didn't do. It didn't work. It had one of the worst designs that any video game console I've ever seen. Now, with the VR consoles that you see now, they have the strap that you hook it on your head, and you just be bopping around and all that,
Yeah.
Got to do that.
Then you had to hold it up.
The Virtual Boy didn't have any of that. The Virtual Boy had legs that you put on the table and you have to look into it. With one of the
Oh my god, I would hold mine up. I used to hold it up. It's probably half the issue.
Like what? Like seriously, Nintendo, what in the blue green hell, dude? What were y'all thinking with that? No strap.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you had no strap to put that thing on, so you had to sit at the desk with your eyes in this ugly ass thing. It was bright red. And
Yep.
I'm like, yo, if you always wanted to be Cyclops from X-Men, there was your chance right there.
Made you so, like, gave you such a headache. I remember getting such a headache from that.
And you talk about ugly controllers. Remember the controller they have for that with the 2 D-pads?
Yes, 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 I do remember that. I do remember that. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. And that's probably why they never tried virtual reality since.
Yeah, that controller. It looked like somebody took a regular controller, cut it in half, and then glued it together backwards. So you had two D-pads here. You had 2 D-pads on the right and left, and then you had the buttons inwards. I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. Epic fail, Nintendo. Anyways, though, synth riders. I don't know I really don't know anything about that. That's the first thing that I've heard about that. But it's a game that they're putting out, whatever it is. Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I never. Let me take a good look at this, see what it is real quick.
Yeah, look this up.
Yeah, because I don't really follow the, for the VR stuff. I don't really follow that. Well, let me see. Give me real quick. Yeah, it's. Oh, no wonder I didn't find it because it's a virtual reality rhythm game.
Okay, yeah, it even says.
Like DDR.
Yeah, I love DDR.
Yeah, Dance Revolution. Okay. So if that's
that as a kid.
As if we didn't have enough dancing games, there's a new one. Before Your Eyes. That's a horror game that's coming out. Now that kind of caught my eye there. Beyond Your Eyes, and then we have the Walking Dead Sinners, Chapter 1 and 2. Huh. Now, if I had a PS VR 2, damn sure I would get that because I love that type of horror.
Yeah. I would love, like, that's what I want. Like, I would love VR because everyone's always like, oh, you should play Resident Evil 7 in VR. Apparently, Resident Evil 4 is hella fun in VR too. Apparently, Resident Evil 4 is such a fun time in VR. But, yeah, like, I would love to get into that. I'm just afraid that we're going back to, we're going back to the VB there. Like, it would give me a headache. I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't be keen, but yeah.
I mean, I think technology is better now.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, Beyond Your Eyes is an old game. Like, it's literally more like one of those, because I'm looking at it right now, Beyond Your Eyes. It's like one of those adventure type games where you take control of someone going through a world of memories. Like, it's kind of confusing to explain it that way.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's like it's a game like literally where your whole life flashes in front of your eyes. So you're just going through memories you've already gone through. I'm like,
interesting.
Can you imagine that in real life? Like, can you imagine like playing a game that flashes through all of your memories that you've already done before?
No.
Yeah, like
I've seen enough.
Yeah, like that time when my brother and I mixed all of our grandfather's colognes in our sand buckets and added garlic powder and onion powder. Yeah. Fun times. And then it's like, our dad came out because our dad was home that day.
Yeah.
I forget which one of us did it, but I think it was me who threw the bucket in the bathtub and didn't wash it out.
Oh my God.
And I think my brother put his bucket under the chair. So it's like,
oh my God.
Like the whole house was smelling like a pot liquor factory.
Oh my God. Yuck.
Yeah, we mixed all of his colognes in the bucket and stuff. Like, yeah, we got in some serious trouble. But I don't think I want to relive that. No game like that. It's like, hey,
No.
relive your first rejection.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't really sound interesting to me, but you know, to some people, it's probably an interesting topic. The PS2 now, I'm surprised. I was surprised to see this because the fact that they're still putting PS2 games, they're not really putting them out, but they're putting them like in the library. That's pretty cool. I want to see more of that. I want to see more PlayStation games, and I want to see PS2 games, PS3 games. I want to see all of that stuff like in the PS5 library at some point.
So many games need ports. Where is Outbreak, Capcom? Where is Outbreak, Capcom? Give me the Outbreak port. Come on.
Resident Evil Outbreak.
Come on.
I'd buy that all over again.
Oh, me too. Like, oh man, like just give me a port with dedicated servers. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's all I'm asking for. I would no life Outbreak for like 3 months.
Yeah,
you would only find me in an Outbreak lobby. That's it.
I'm pretty sure Fortnite would be willing to lend them some of their servers.
Right?
But
man.
They do have 3 PlayStation 2 games, which, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, these were immensely popular. The Tomb Raider Legends, which is one of my favorite Tomb Raider games to this day. That was the first time they revamped the Tomb Raider series. And it was more action-oriented, and Laura's going around killing actual humans, not just dogs and wolves and stuff. And I had a lot of fun playing that game back on the PS2. You know, so it's cool that they're bringing that over now. Of course, it's PS2 graphics, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Ugh, the graphics aren't that great." But y'all got to try this, man. It's a good game. That trilogy of Tomb Raider games, where you had Tomb Raider Legends, Tomb Raider Anniversary, which was a remake of TR1 from 1996. So they did it 3 times. So yeah, if you look at the Tomb Raider collection that they have, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. So basically they remade the same game twice.
Typing here.
Because Anniversary was a remake in the Tomb Raider Legends style graphics, and it was the first Tomb Raider. And then they came out with the Tomb Raider collection where they kind of revamped.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so they did it 3 times. And don't give Capcom no ideas, man.
No.
Don't give them no ideas. But yes.
Port Outbreak.
Yes, Port Outbreak 1 and 2. You know, because, man, they gave us, what was the other one? Operation Raccoon City, which was everything that was not, what was it? Resident Evil, I'm sorry, the name slipped out of my head. Outbreak. It was everything that Outbreak was not. You just had multiple players, and it was buggy as all hell.
Yeah.
Port it over, and you can even scale up the graphics. It doesn't even have to be a remake. Just scale up the graphics and make it run good on these consoles, man. I would play that junk.
Exactly. Yeah, me too.
Now, they got, if you're a Star Wars fan, everybody likes this one too. Star Wars, Clone Wars. I remember seeing that damn thing in every store. They used to have like the, like you was talking about this in the last show where you had like the, like they would have the system set up with the TV and you could see how the game actually plays.
Yeah, the demo consoles, yeah.
I swear every Walmart and Best Buy had Star Wars Clone Wars. I was like, can I get a different game, please?
I think something else.
And you know what's funny? I've never seen a Star Wars movie.
Really?
It never caught my interest.
No.
I never seen. Fair. The funny thing is, I knew Mark Hamill as the Joker from Batman the Animated Series before I knew he was Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I never watched this. I know about some of the characters and stuff, but it never grabbed me like that, like the Terminator movies did, and Rocky and the Rambo stuff. That's the stuff that I was watching. Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I don't know why. I just never
Yeah.
got into it. But yes, another popular game. We got a third one, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
I love that game. I love that game. I love that game. So fun.
Yeah, they're bringing it over
That's great.
they're bringing it over to the PS5 library. I vaguely remember my cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin had one of the Sly Cooper games. And I guess it was more like them trying to recreate the magic from the Crash Bandicoot stuff.
Yeah.
And, from what I remember, it did look like a pretty cool platformer. Not my style of game, but, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's bad, because it's not a bad game. And I like this. I really do like that they're bringing a lot of the older games back. They're bringing them to introduce them into a new generation. This is stuff that we need to do more often, because the Xbox, like the original Xbox, had so many great games that the Xbox 360 players never got to play. The Xbox One players and the series, they never got to play those original Xbox games. Why not give people, if you're going to be charging people all of this money for these consoles, why not include the original library?
I know. I think Nintendo's the worst for that. You know what? Nintendo does that, but Nintendo wants to sell you the same game 50 times.
Yeah.
Like, they just want you to buy this game on every console over and over again.
Yeah, they got like these, like, they got that, I think, $25 yearly subscription pass where they put Nintendo games out. They got some Super Nintendo games, and they even got some Sega Genesis ones, but they charge you like an extra $30 for, I think, $30 for the Sega Genesis add-on to that plan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was not that much of a Sega fanboy anyways. I'm not paying for that.
Nope.
And it's like, Nintendo has like a vast amount of like a vast library of games that are not even in that streaming system, not even in that subscription system. Like, you got some of the mainstays like Double Dragon. Of course, you got all 3 Super Mario Brother games. But what about Batman? Great game. What about?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't put the Mega Man games in there because they put the Mega Man games in the collection, and then they made you buy that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Instead of just including it in the subscription that they're charging you for. And I'm like, no, like, put all of that stuff. Give me all the options. How cool would it be?
Exactly.
How cool would it be, like, if you got the next PlayStation system, the PS6, or whatever they're going to call it, and you had access to all the PS4 games, the PS3 games, the PS2 games, the PlayStation games, the PSP, and PS Vita.
That'd be so good.
Like, I would pay extra money for that if they gave us those options. Like, that's something you charge extra for. We're bringing you...
Yeah.
We're bringing you all the libraries to all of these consoles if they still have the license to some of these games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, going back to be able to boot up Metal Gear Solid, but no, they had to put it in a compilation package and sell it to you for $40.
Exactly.
To go back and be able to play Dino Crisis, and to go back to be able to play
Dino Crisis.
Yeah, the Parasite Eve games and stuff like that, man. Like, come on. The PS2.
Port them.
Yeah, port them. The Ghost in the Shell game for the PS2. I used to play the hell out of that game.
I remember that game. Port it.
Yes. Port it over. The Onimusha games, they making us buy those again.
Yes.
But what about Onimusha 2, 3, and Dawn of Dreams? They just gave us the original Onimusha game.
I need to play those games. Haven't yet. You'll shame me.
Great games. Great games. And I'm like,
yes,
there's so much there Like, what about the Dragon Ball Z Budokai video games? Budokai 1, 2, 3. 3 being one of my absolute
Three was,
favorites.
yeah, 3 was my favorite. I remember 3.
Oh man,
Oh man,
it's just,
playing that at my buddy's house. Yes.
and you could bring over some of the imports like the Gunslinger Girl games and Blood Plus and stuff like that. Like, just are very rare to find.
There's there's so many.
Yeah, and with everything going digital, this would be the perfect time if you're gonna be selling subscriptions to stuff. Don't just give us what we have in that area. Give us games around the world as well too.
Yep.
Anyways, rant over. So now for the PS5 and PS4, Dredge, that came out May 29th. These names, man, I don't know anything about a lot of these games. I'm just listing off the
My
games.
sister wants me to play Dredge. She wants me to play it. Guess that's a good game.
Do you know what it's about?
What is it? It's like a horror fishing game. Isn't it? Is that not what Dredge is? I believe that's what Dredge is.
That better not be what it's about. That better not be what it's about, because I'm like, yo, you're going to hype people up over that. Like, come on, bro.
There we go. Fishing game, but it's a Lovecraftian horror game. That's what it is. It's a Lovecraftian horror game. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sell your catch to upgrade your boat. So it's more like an upgraded version of Jaws for Nintendo.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Not interested. Not interested, but some people might like that. Lego Marvel Superheroes. That was released May 31st for both the PS4 and PS5. If you guys like the Marvel universe only in Lego form, then you guys will get a kick out of that. Cricket.
Lego games. Those are always cute. Cricket.
Yeah, you got cricket. A lot of people like that sport. I've never seen it before. The only reason why I even know what cricket is because Raphael from the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
He's like, cricket? He's like, I know what a crumpet is, but nobody plays cricket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie was great. Now that's how you do a live action movie. That thing was perfect, man. That movie was perfect. I loved that first one. And of course, because every console has to have it, Grand Theft Auto, the San Andreas Definitive Edition.
How many times have we remastered and ported San Andreas now?
Yeah, they even have it on mobile phone.
Yeah, I know. Like, I thought they'd be. No, they're never done. But San Andreas has been on everything now.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of games that we've never played, I've never played San Andreas.
Really? Oh, it's fun.
I only played.
It's fun.
I only played, I think, 2 Grand Theft Auto games. Vice City, that was pretty fun. And then I played a little bit of 5, and that's it.
5 was fun. It just like the online sucked because there were hackers everywhere.
Yeah. Leave it to people that you play online with to ruin the game for you.
Yep, exactly.
Now, we also have, going back to the PSVR 2, this holiday, Alien Rogue Excursion. That's coming out for the VR as well too. A single-player action horror game that offers an all-new storyline for players to enjoy. It's developed in the Unreal 5 engine. So that actually sounds pretty cool. I just hope it's not boring as dishwater like, Alien Isolation.
Yeah, it is a game. All right, I know Crow's probably gonna hate me for saying that. Alien Isolation was all right, but once you kind of figured out the AI, it was like meh.
It's boring. I'm sorry. I know that's gonna ruffle feathers, but that game is boring, man. Like, come on now. Like, you're literally just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen.
Yeah, that's why I don't like stealth games. Like, it was fun, but it didn't. I guess it depends on how afraid you are of games, right? Like people say it's a really scary game, and I don't agree in any way, shape, or form. So that's probably why I didn't think it was fun. Like, having something stalk you and you have to, do stealth, like it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine playing a VR game where you're just sitting there waiting for something to happen?
Yeah. Maybe it's better in VR, but I don't know.
I mean, the whole aspect of just wandering around like an abandoned spaceship, that that sounds better for something like VR than an actual
Yeah.
game on the TV. Because I think that people would get more enjoyment out of that because you're just waiting for something to happen and you don't know what's around the corner. Versus when you're playing, looking at a TV screen or a monitor, it just doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And we got one more here. Monster Hunter Wilds. Now I may check that out, to be honest. Like I'm trying to give these newer ones a chance. I gave Monster Hunter World a try. It's a decent game. I'm gonna pick up I forget what the other one is, but the two on the Nintendo Switch and the one that they got out right now. I think I might want to try that as well too. I'm trying because it looks cool. The graphics
Yeah.
look great, and like I said, I love those games where you can create your own character and you just let me just roam in an open world. And you would think killing giant ass dinosaur looking monsters would grab a guy like me, but I just don't know what it is about Monster
Doesn't
Hunter.
get you.
It just doesn't get me. I don't know what it is because I used to play other games like Ragnarok Odyssey that was back on the PS Vita. I used to play what was it, Tokiden, which was like their answer to Monster Hunter. That was a fun game to play. That was on the PS Vita as well too. I don't know what it is about the Monster Hunter stuff. It just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, doesn't for me either.
You
Never
know.
got into it. It just felt repetitive to me.
So you don't like those style of games. You don't like the Dynasty Warriors stuff.
Nah, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of them.
Mm. Well, I mean, it's definitely a niche type of thing. You got people who just
Yeah.
they don't have no problem with just sitting around just doing the same thing over and over again. That's why I hate the American version of Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah. That's
Because
not even Super Mario. It's not even a Super Mario Brothers game.
I mean, beyond that point, that is Doki Doki Panic or Doki Doki Panic
Yeah.
Reskin. It's just a boring game. Like every level is
Yeah.
basically the same, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I just tend to skip that. But one game that I'm actually interested in, and it's a surprise even to me, is I'm actually interested in an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, really?
Yes, the new one that they're going to be coming out with, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is set in the Sengoku period, where you play as a shinobi from the Iga clan. And you also play as an African samurai. One of the most famous, and he's an African samurai, black samurai. And I'm like,
Oh, who is that? Who is that? Who is that dude?
I think his
I know
name.
who he is.
I think his name is Yasuke.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and it's yes.
when I saw that, I was like, okay, now you got my interest. Because I love stuff like that. Like I read up on Japanese history, the Iga clan and the Koga clan when they were at war with each other. And that's why one of my favorite animes is Basilisk. Because it was like
Okay.
it was like a Romeo and Juliet version, but it's with the Iga and Koga clan. Like you had the head of the Koga clan fall in love with the princess of the Iga clan. And you just have like a whole bunch of bloodshed and killing because they hate each other. Like the clans hate each other. And it's just a sad ending where they both die, just like Romeo and Juliet did. They both take,
Oh God.
Yeah, so it's like that was a great movie. But I like Japanese, Japanese history and stuff. So that game actually grabbed my interest. I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot because I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't like Assassin's Creed. I think it's boring. But then again, the first one I played was Liberation for the PS Vita, so I didn't really have anything to go off of then. But I'm gonna definitely give Kelsey the floor here because she has a lot of things that she wants to talk about. We're gonna
Yeah, I got a lot of things to complain about.
and we're gonna start off with the Rainbow Six debacle.
Oh man. Yeah. So Rainbow Six is what? Like almost 10 years old at this point is and now they're introducing battle passes. But it's not just like a battle pass. You get like unlocks, you get like skins, animations and stuff, but 10 years after Rainbow Six has come out. Like, are you kidding me? And obviously no one's happy about that. Like, why would you be? Why would you be? Um, though like I have noticed Rainbow Six like became popular again. So I guess like I don't know. I think for me, it just like I don't play Rainbow Six. But I know people who are like way into it. But I think it's just Ubisoft being Ubisoft at this point. I just like why? Like, why would you this is actually going to be a theme here. I don't understand why companies at this point are trying to monetize games that old. You know?
Mm.
Like I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so Rainbow Six is doing that, but I'm gonna segue from there into another one because this has another part. So first Ubisoft, they're just scraping, they're doing their best. But then we're going to go into the other part of this cuz who else is doing this? EA, of course. Of course. So like I growing up I loved The Sims. Of course I did. I was a little girl playing video games. Like I love The Sims. Hate The Sims 4. Sims 4, like EA has milked that. Like they're trying to milk a cow after the cow has been dead for like 3 years. Like they are trying to get milk from a dusty, like a dusty pelt of a cow. So first of all, so all the expansion packs, they're when the first couple of Sims games came out, like the expansion packs, they actually added fun things and they were worth your money. Then the Sims 3, it started getting worse. By the time now we're at the Sims 4, so it's $1,200 for all the expansion packs. And the base game's free, by the way. You can get the base game for free, but the expansion packs for the games is $1,200.
Wait a minute.
$1,200.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. $1,200 for a Sims game.
Yep. Yep. So what they do is they have like expansion packs which actually add features. Then they have like stuff packs which are just like little items you can buy. But yeah, like there's so many different things that they have added. But yeah, it's about $1,200. But now what they're doing?
Just one question, real quick. Like, does this $1,200 include expansions where the game cooks dinner for me and cleans my place and changes the oil in the car?
Right?
This is what this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is why they keep doing this stuff, because we keep allowing it and we keep buying this crap. They are cheating the hell out of us. There is no way that any Sims game, or any game for that matter, is worth no damn $1,200. If I ever spent $1,200 on a game, I want every friend that I know and every family member to come beat the crap out of me with baseball bats.
Tar and feather you, like just march you around. This guy spent $1,200 on video game expansion pack, right? Like,
and watch the game be like only 2 hours long.
Oh man, like the actual like The Sims 4 is trash. Such a trash game. Like The Sims 3 had full open world. full open world. You had control of this entire neighborhood. Like, it was great. You could see everything all your Sims are doing like it was a living world. They got rid of that. They went back to what they had in like the 2000s, where you could only have like your house and then you'd have to travel. But other than that, this game is buggy. The Sims is buggy. And for like, it's actually a meme. If you guys want to laugh, Google bug fixes for The Sims 4, and there are some really funny ones. But one of the things that just came out is they just announced now, almost 10 years later, just like Ubisoft did, that they're going to make a dedicated team for fixing the bugs in the game. So like, what are you telling me? That you had there's probably one person in the offices at EA that has like a stack of bug fixes that they need to do, and then they add, like, it's like a meme that if you get an expansion pack, get ready for nothing else to work. And then on top of the shit Sunday, they added a battle pass to it. A Sims game, a battle pass. And they're literally preying on people's fear of missing out. Yeah, a battle pass. Because their daily numbers must be sucking. Like, their active play, well, of course it is. Like, most people pirate The Sims, obviously. Right? Obviously you would pirate that. So yeah, now they added a battle pass. And it gives you like unlocks, like new items and stuff. But here's the other part. Because EA is EA and the bugs suck, those items are already in the game. And you can access them even if you miss like the day the unlock is out, you can still access them. There was one that like, it was like a personality trait that you could unlock, and some people said that they could already, like, when they were randomizing the personality traits for your Sims, it was already in the game. They could already get it.
So basically, you have EA that's charging $1,200 for all of that stuff altogether, and a battle pass that gives you all of that stuff anyways. So they're basically just making you pay more money just for the hell of it.
Yep. For a game they don't even have a bug fixing team for.
EA, y'all gotta hold this L, man. Yo, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that, but that is the definition of just screwing people. That's basically what it is. And they've been doing that crap for years. And you know there'd be some dumbass out there defending that. Well, if you don't like it, don't buy it.
Oh yeah, people do. People do defend it. People get the bare minimum from EA and they're like, oh, this is the greatest thing. It's like they've been in a desert and the spring appears in front of them, like an oasis. And they're like, like, that's how they treat EA. And it's like, EA actively hates you. Like, EA actively hates you. You know?
Look, I used to work for EA and the people were cool there. But come on, man. Like, a lot of the products, and that's why I'm scared for, the new Dragon Age that's going to be coming out, because I have Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a good game for the most part. I just really hope that EA doesn't screw that up.
No promises, right?
Yeah, no promises. Don't pull no Skyrim where dragons fly backwards.
And they still do, huh? Apparently they still do.
I mean, I've never seen moonwalking dragons before.
No. But it's actually a good question. Ken, first off, what is the best video game bugs you have ever seen? What are your favorite bugs in video games that benefit you, or they're hilarious? Either or.
I had to brainstorm this one because I remember when you sent me your notes, I really had to like sit there and think about it. And I have a list of that. So I'm going to go down the best ones that I could think of off the top of my head. Double Dragon for the Nintendo. The glitch where you can skip the second boss. Like, anybody that's ever played the second level and the second boss is Chen, the guy with the purple hair. If you go down the ladder, like when he appears, if you go back down, I think 2 or 3 ladders, the level just ends. So
Really?
yeah, you don't have to fight them. Like, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Another glitch in that game is the invisible enemy glitch, and you have to be able to pull that off right, because Double Dragon 1 is a thing where you have to build up points to unlock hearts, to unlock, more moves that you have. So they have one where you can make two Williams appear, like two, that's their names, Williams, and you have to go up the ladder, go to the other side, come back down, and they're gone, but they're not really gone. So you just take the bat and you smack in the thin air until all of your hearts come up and you unlock all the moves.
Oh my god.
So that was a good glitch that we had. The Evil Within glitch where you can cheese Laura in chapter 10.
Yes. Yes, that's one of my favorites too. That was on my list too, yes. Because that makes a disgusting fight so much better in Akumu.
Yeah, because all you got to do is shoot the arrow at the flaming pipe, and the flame just continuously comes down, and she keeps getting burned and reappearing, then getting burned until she dies. And that just makes it a hell of a lot easier.
So much better.
Resident Evil 3 Original, where you can make Nemesis get stuck on corners.
Yes. Yes. I was taking advantage of that one too.
Yeah, because that's an easy way, like where you can just get them stuck and just continuously shoot them and just beat them every time. It takes a little bit to pull off, but I like that they put that in the game.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil 2 remake. Now you see me play through that where you can manipulate the certain zombies to where they won't wake up. And I like that, like when you're in the library upstairs, there's a zombie that's sitting by the door. And I showed it to where if you walk along the wall, like on the edge, away from him, he won't wake up. So you don't have to waste any ammo on him. And then there's the other one down there in the room where you get the in the first safe, where the safe is, there's a zombie that's laying on the desk. And if you never go around to his side, like if you just go around the other side, that guy never wakes up.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it is. So you end up saving ammo. So I really like that glitch. So that's one of my favorites. And of course, the RE2, since we're on that game, the RE2 remake knife glitch that they never patched.
Oh, the FPS one.
Yeah, when you play on 120 FPS, your knifing damage is tied to your FPS in that game. So I can go for people who play the console version who are locked at 60 frames. And y'all seen me do it. If y'all seen my playthroughs, I took down Birkin 1 with 2 knives, only using 33 slashes. So I took him out like like 30, 40 seconds. Tops.
Oh man.
And they never patched it in a PC version.
That's great.
So if
they did, you can down patch it.
That is true.
Beauty of Steam.
That's why you noticed in the like when they do the speed runs, it's always the PC version of the game. Mm-hmm. Because you cannot do that. You cannot do that in the console version because the console's still locked at 60. You will have to use your guns.
Yep.
Like you can knife him, but he's gonna choke slam you, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that, like I really like that. Those are 6 of the glitches, the best glitches I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I have well, I guess we already mentioned one. The other one, actually I have 2 others. Obviously one, the God glitch in Silent Hill 3. Because if you have ever done the God fight on Extreme 10, or on Extremes, it gets to the point where the fire, so there's she has 2 modes. So like she has close-up mode, like her close-up, which like at this point it's one hit, you die pretty much in Extreme. So she has her close-up where she'll swipe at you. But if you go far away, she starts sending circles of fire at you. And it gets so quick that you can't even dodge it eventually. But in the PC version, there's a glitch where if you stand behind her big ol' head like right beside it, she'll swipe you, and you'll be able to like kill her so quick. Like you can kill her in like a minute or something, but for a 10-star, it says under 8 minutes is actually the requirement for the god fight. Under 8 minutes for that fight, and you can do it in a minute. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
You're gonna have to glitch that.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. I've wanted to attempt, because I understand how people do it now. They get right up close to her head. They use the katana and she headbutts you, so you just like block and keep attacking. It's lame. It's lame.
Yeah, well,
but it's so useful.
Doesn't she look like a giant bobblehead?
She does.
Like her head is bobbing. Like does. You ever notice that her head is always bobbing and stuff before she get ready to hit you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's so, full bobblehead.
It's like I'm just waiting for somebody to just add like some rock music to that while she's bopping her head like that. It's like some
oh my god,
music.
That's perfect. That's so funny. And the other one is, I cannot remember how to pull this off. It has something to do with the store. In Dead Space 2, you can get unlimited nodes. Like you can get unlimited nodes, which are like the things to upgrade your game. And I did not want to 100% this game, but I didn't want to go and 100% this game, so I totally took advantage of this glitch and upgraded all my stuff after I completed the game. Like that's even in the Dead Space remake, that's the last achievements I still have, is upgrade all these weapons. Like why do I care? The plasma cutter is the only weapon that matters.
I didn't even know that was a glitch, because I did play through all 3 of the original Dead Space games, and even if I did know, I probably wouldn't have gone for it anyways.
You know? Yeah, it was like complex. I can remember doing it years ago because I just wanted to 100% it, because some of those weapons, like you could not waterboard me at Guantanamo Bay to use some of those weapons in that game. You know, like you just couldn't. You just could not.
Well, what weapons don't you like?
I do not like what is it? The force gun I like. My gosh, I can't even remember half of them because I don't use them. Force gun's good. I don't like the pulse rifle. I don't like the pulse rifle. I pretty much only like the force gun. No, the force gun, the detonator, and the plasma cutter. Those are the only 3 I like. I hate every other weapon.
You didn't like the line gun?
Every other weapon. Line gun is all right, but I just, no. I'm plasma cutter purist. But Dead Space 2, they don't even have a one gun achievement. It apparently expects you to actually use these weapons, but like hell no, not doing that.
Got you. Yeah, because I didn't even know about that glitch, you know, because it's like I said, I was just playing through the game, and I actually did, you know, unlock everything in that game the hard way. I kept going through it because I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, no thanks.
And when you're a teenager with nothing to do, you got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked. I mean, here I am now. I can't even be asked to do it in the remake. I just I don't know. I just don't have any. I don't enjoy those. But now, what are your worst bugs? What are the worst bugs?
The worst bugs
you've ever experienced?
See, I got I have a list of that as well too. And boy, that, you know, having to go back and having to think about that crap again. Holy crap. The worst bugs that I've ever had was I had to go back to Superman 64.
Oh God.
And Superman 64, for people who don't know, that is one of the worst games ever created in the history of video games, because it's so broken. It's you have bugs where you get stuck in the wall, you get stuck in the ground underneath the world.
You go right through it.
And you have to restart the levels because, you know, you're stuck there. It's not like you can warp to another part of the level or to the end of the game or something. So, yeah, it's bad, yo. Like, that's a bad glitch. Mortal Kombat 2, the arcade version. I love Mortal Kombat 2, but I also hate Mortal Kombat 2 at the same time. 'Cause the AI in that game is so cheap they can skip frames. So like a lot of
Oh God.
a lot of times where in Mortal Kombat 2, when you know for a fact that you hit the enemy, the AI skips frames, so it skips through your hits and then they throw you or they can attack you. And they programmed it purposely like that to take your quarters.
Yeah. Yeah. Milk in the arcade, right?
Yeah, so that's like that was a cheap thing that they never fixed, and even in the home ports they never fixed that. It's a frustrating game. They also have bigger hitboxes too. Because even though they can skip frames and stuff, like I swear there are a lot of times where they throw attacks that are nowhere near you and it still registers as a hit.
Oh, it's like hit scan. As long as it's pointed at you or near you, it's gonna hit you.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, you know. Yeah, the camera's not working. Oh well. Anyways, whatever. Sorry about that, folks. Tune over to Kelsey's stream for the actual full thing, but I don't even think my camera's up there.
No,
Anyway.
it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. We're near the end of the show, anyways.
Yeah, we're almost at the end. We have Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is another one where they had a glitch that can work in your favor, but it also works against you when you're fighting against them. For some reason in Street Fighter 2, they never patched Ryu's like his punch damage is double the amount of damage than everybody else's. So like when he would hit like a high punch, like it would hurt twice as much against you. And it's just something that they didn't fix until they came out with Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2. But in the original Street Fighter 2, fighting against them was a pain in the ass because of that glitch.
Oh, I believe that.
So that's one of the worst. And of course, the old classic trope, enemies hitting you through walls and hitting you from off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many games have you played where, you know, you can't hit the enemy, but they can hit you?
Oh, tons. Especially like way back in the day where all the environments were so unreliable.
Yeah,
I can think of tons of games.
You would literally have it to where, and I know y'all seen those types of games. It's more so like the older games where, you know, you're trying to hit the enemy and they're off to the side and you can't see them, but you can see them punching and kicking you. Or you have environments where you have a wall and they can still punch you and shoot you through walls, but you can't do that. Like your bullets get stopped there. Like Metroid, I love Metroid to death, but that was always so cheap to me that you have monsters that can fly off the edge of the screen. You don't know where they are. And they could just attack you. I'm like, I can't hit them. Why can they hit me?
Right?
I'm like, how about a little fairness there?
I hate that. That was like always a classic too in Fallout. Like in Fallout 3 in New Vegas, like enemies will just be somewhere and like you die and then it's like they're glitched into like the floor or something. Like Fallout is so buggy, but I guess, you know, same as Skyrim.
Why do people like that game if it's so badly glitched like that?
Oh, I don't know. Why does anyone like any Bethesda game at this point?
Yeah, that's true. Didn't that new update like break all the mods and stuff for the Fallout? I think Fallout 4.
Yeah, Fallout 4. They want to give it a next gen upgrade, even though like people have been modding that for years. And now, great, broke it all.
And that just ruins everybody's enjoyment of the game.
Exactly.
But those are my list of the best and the worst glitches off the top of my head, because I really had to brainstorm, because you're talking about, you know, going back, you know, 30 plus years. So it's like,
oh yeah,
Going back, back to when I got my first Nintendo, that was what, 1992. So it's like, going from the games that I played back then all the way until now, like you got to think about that.
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking about it. I can only, yeah, like for recent, like some of them is like recent memory. The biggest one I actually had, and I don't actually think this was a glitch. I think it may have been the hardware. My PS2 copy of Silent Hill 2 eventually stopped working to a point where there were certain, I think it was the cutscene right when you have to do that god awful Maria, the Maria chase with Pyramid Head around the corner. For some reason, and it may have just been a console glitch, it would pause there. Like the cutscene would pause there, but if you if you just walked away, for some reason, like 20 minutes later, it just resumed. No idea how, it just resumed, which was crazy because I can remember dying like 4 or 5 times, and this was the only copy I had before I got the PC copy. And I must have spent like 2 hours just waiting for this, but hey, got through it. Man, I can remember that. It was so bad.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the most recent one. I actually have two. One, Cry of Fear, like was fine playing that game, and then I had this glitch where the flashlight on your phone would stop working, and it kept happening. But like everyone was like, "Oh, like here's the fix, here's the fix, here's the fix." The only actual fix for it was turning off my entire computer and restarting it. Am I good? I really do not want to do that in the middle of a stream. Like that's the last thing you want to do in the middle of a stream is have to restart your entire computer and then hope that the glitch doesn't happen again. And it kept happening, so haven't even finished that game recently. Last time I tried to stream it, I didn't finish it because of that.
Wow.
Like absolutely hated it. Yeah.
And I actually played through Cry of Fear, and the jumping bullshit, man. Like you saw how many times I kept dying on that train part.
Yeah, I hate it. I hated it. Or when you were at like the apartment buildings and it's literally just platforming all the way up. I think it's right before the school. You're in like that alleyway. Oh god, like
yeah, wasn't
the
really
old Source engine too.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of that too much, but I did finish it though.
Well, that's good. That's good. The last one I had is, for some reason, this has happened in 2 playthroughs now. 2 playthroughs of The Evil Within. When you get to like the shopping mall area and then you go down and you're going to like the watery area with the subways. As soon as I get to the shutters, the game kept crashing. The game kept crashing. It has happened 2 times that I have played The Evil Within. It kept crashing. And you know what the fix was? I had to turn down the resolution on my game. Like, what a fix. Like I had to downsize it to what is it, 1280 or whatever? 1290, whatever it is. I had to downgrade to that and it let me walk on through. And then I had to go back to 1080 and I was like, what? Like, my lord. Like, I guess to me, if you actually, you know what? It probably actually shows that the theme here, I've just realized, is bugs that make me waste my time trying to fix them rather than just restarting a level. I hate bugs. Like, I immediately lose interest in a game when I have to do more than just restart a level. I hate that. Like, instantly do not want to play a game anymore.
Damn. Yeah, for me too. Like it can ruin the experience. There are bugs that are useful, but then there are a lot that just make the game just broken and just make you not want to play anymore. And these are things like I remember when they first brought out the Silent Hill 2 and 3 collection. And people were talking about on
Ooh.
the PS3 version and some of the Xbox ones how the game would just it would glitch, or having all that fog would make it freeze up, and like this piece of shit camera, virtual camera here, this feature
Yeah.
in this thing, the game would act like that.
Oh God.
So it was virtually
Yeah.
unplayable for a lot of that. So it's like, yeah, if you want to play the original 2 and 3, you just got to hunt down the actual PS2 copies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's annoying. I hate that. And especially like, yeah, and what, Xbox didn't even get patched? I don't think Xbox even got patched, did they?
No, they didn't. They just released it like that. And next thing Cheryl, I know that gets you. Cheryl.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Heather's teleporting through time like she's a freaking, like a musician or something. Like enemies just teleport in front of you and stuff,
Oh God.
stuff like that. Or like I said, when you're running out in the fog, because, there's so much fog there, like it would just make the game slow down
Oh yeah.
significantly.
Or I think when you're firing the SMG, your FPS just tanks as well.
Yeah, that's true. And it's actually a genius way, even though it's crap what they did, but it's a genius way of how they introduced the fog, because they introduced the fog to hide the fact that the rest of the level didn't load up yet.
Yeah, hide the pop-in, right? And like that was to optimize it, and now ironically it's like ruining the optimization of the game.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, I know you're probably worried about Silent Hill 2, the remake.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, but we'll just see.
I think that people's nostalgia is gonna overpower how good the actual game will end up being. I don't think it'll
Yeah,
be
and
that
that's why
good.
it's not. Yeah, and that's why it's not a big issue for me because I don't have that attachment to Silent Hill 2. If it was Silent Hill 1 or 3, then I might have, I might be picky, but I'm not that attached to Silent Hill 2. So, like, I can complain about it because I like to complain about things, but it doesn't, like, personally hurt me like a lot of Silent Hill fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really an advocate for Silent Hill 2 either. I never actually played it, don't want to play it, but I've seen other people play it. It doesn't really look, people say it's the best Silent Hill game ever made. I disagree. Like I said before, I think 3 is better.
Yeah, 3 is the best combat. Like, the Silent Hill 2 is just a vehicle for the story. Like, they're like, it's just the writing. The writing is the only thing that actually makes that fun. Like, the combat is not fun.
That is true.
It's goofy. It's actually goofy.
And plus, from what I've seen, it looks way too easy, even on the hardest difficulties.
It is. It is. It's the easiest Silent Hill game. That's the
Def-
other part of it. Very
Definitely.
easy.
Yeah. So it's like, just, I don't know. These guys are funny with this stuff. Like I said, when we're gonna buy it anyway, because it's Silent
Yep, gonna
Hill.
buy it anyways. Exactly.
They could
Exactly.
literally come out with a game that literally has a turd in the case, and just have Silent
Shaped
Hill
like
slapped
Pyramid
on it.
Head.
Yeah, like you have you have the Silent Hill name on it or some name brand like that,
Yeah.
and people will
Oh,
buy
people
it.
would buy it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and that's what they did. Yeah, they were real sneaky with it. Like when they announced the Silent Hill remake, I'm gonna keep this short because I do need to go soon. But okay, so the thing about the remake, uh, it's just like really, really funny. So they announced the remake and they announced all that other stuff, and then when they did the first transmission, they immediately pushed it aside and they're like, and here's all this merch that we know you stupid Silent Hill fans, are going to purchase. And was I a stupid Silent Hill fan that purchased some merch? I did, but that's not the point.
Jeez, so they got what they wanted.
Yeah, but some things were super expensive and they were ugly too. Like, so many of their figures were so ugly.
People bought it
Like,
anyways.
oh yeah, people bought them anyways. I know people who bought them. Like, I
Oh,
know at least like 2 or 3 people who have bought figures that I was like, that's so ugly. Like, no one with eyes would ever want to purchase that.
that's probably worth a lot of
And they
money
did.
now. But
Yeah.
any, but anyway, since we're short for time, I'll give you the floor and you can speed through the next ones.
All right. Yeah, we got 3 more things. Yeah, I do have to go to a birthday party. We've gotten away in this combo. Nothing wrong with that. So what else do we have? This one that I've seen going around. Sony eventually removed the 8K from their boxes, their PlayStation 5 boxes. And so this has two different forms of speculation. One, they're either getting rid of that so they can remarket that for their PlayStation Pro or whatever. Or the other one is that they were only ever referring to the capabilities of the HDMI that came with it. Either way, I like it, no matter what it is, I just think it's really funny that they just like quietly removed the 8K from the boxes. Like I think that's really funny. Like, but we'll see. But I would bet money that it's going when they release the next PS5, they're going to say that it does 8K, even though like none of the games can support it.
So, so basically, false advertisement.
Yeah, like I think the loophole is again, like I said, I think the HDMI cable they had 8K capability, but that's all I can see from that.
Well, they did that
That's
crap
all I can see.
real quick. They did that crap with the FPS. Now the consoles, both the consoles say that they can run 160 FPS, 120 FPS, but all of their games are still locked at 60.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah,
even know if it
exactly.
does it or not.
Exactly. Like if it's not standard, like don't advertise it as something that's flashy, right?
But that's how they get people to buy
Um
it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um then I have one more. I did have a point that I'm just going to leave because that's actually a long thing. But the final thing I have is IKEA is paying people to work, like they're hiring 10 people to work in their store in Roblox. Okay? Which like if you don't play Roblox, like kids love it. But you can pretty much create like your own areas, your own games. Like it's limitless what you can do with Roblox. It's crazy. But IKEA has made their own virtual store. And if you live, I don't know if they still do it, but if you live in the UK or what are we calling Ireland different? Anyways, if you can get paid like £17 an hour
So
to go work.
they actually pay you to work in a virtual, like a virtual reality game or something.
Yeah, like you're pretending to be an IKEA employee.
Man,
Like you're being paid to be an NPC.
man, sign me up for that. Like, can you imagine getting
That's what
paid?
I'm saying.
Like, can you imagine getting paid to play Resident Evil 2 or something? Like, pretend like
Yeah.
you're in the world of Raccoon City as Leon Kennedy. Yo, pay me to do that.
Yeah, but can you imagine if that's actually the next step? Like, could you imagine games where people are actually played to be the NPCs?
That would
That would be
actually
crazy.
that means that there would be absolutely no determination and no discipline because you would literally have to do nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
Kind of like the
They'd
EA
have to
offices.
find some way around it.
Kind of like
EA offices.
the Microsoft offices. They get paid to do nothing.
Yep, exactly.
But definitely we'll save that other point for the next episode
Oh
about
yeah, that's a long one.
the Kickstarter scams. That's going to be a fun one. We'll
Yes,
include that on episode 7, which will be 2
we
weeks from
will.
now on a Sunday. And next week I don't think that is going to be a Sunday stream for me because it's Father's Day, and I want to go spend some time with my dad.
Yeah.
But
I
apologize for
love
that.
the overlay though. I thank you for the overlays. Those were so cute, Ken.
I'm glad you liked it, and now I'm going to delete that stuff off here and free up my system.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yes.
Kelsey, it is always a pleasure. If you
Thank you,
guys
Ken.
if you guys need to find us, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, Samsung Podcast, Pandora, Chaser, Spreaker, Amazon Music, YouTube, and Twitch. I will have everything uploaded after I do some serious editing because of the technical difficulties. It should be live within the next couple of hours. Thank you to everybody that showed up. I love
Perfect.
every single one of y'all. And thank you for coming by and making Kelsey's birthday weekend, so great, because she definitely
Thank you,
deserves it.
guys.
And
Oh, you're the best.
you guys take care. I will be back tomorrow. I think I'll be resuming some more what was it? Zombie Army Trilogy. So I'll be back with more of that. You guys have a great day, and Kelsey, you have fun today.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Y'all take care, and I will see y'all tomorrow.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.